What's up, guys? We are back with another betting breakdown. This time for UFC Austin. We got Calvin Kattar taking on Josh Emmett. 14 fights on the card. Some bangers on this card, man. For a fight night, this is a great card. I'm really excited for it. Some really fun matchups. We got a good streak going. Before we get into it, leave a like on the video, leave a comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I do betting breakdowns like this, breaking down all my picks and bets for every fight on the card every single week. We still have 7 more weeks in a row, I believe, of fight cards every Saturday. So if you want to get in on this money train, we got a good streak going. Click subscribe, turn your notifications on, don't miss the next one. But real quick recap before we get into them. Last week, we kept the streak alive. We had Kang versus Dana. Fight goes to decision. We had Kang by decision. We had Allen versus Malkoun goes to decision. We had Valentina by decision. We had Glover, which you know, I could do a 30-minute video on just that, but let's refrain from that. We got 14 fights to break down. Glover, just so many chances. And if you were live with me watching the fights, you probably saw me rage harder than you've ever seen. Now, what I really needed was fight doesn't go to decision, because I had that parlayed, and for the main event, Glover versus Yuri doesn't go to decision. Parlayed up 5 times. So that cashed. That was most important. But had Glover, he pulls that guillotine. He doesn't just keep punching when Yuri is out on his feet. I could just But, you know, all good. We still cashed Valentina Zhang as well. Valentina Santos over 1.5. And now we still have Glover versus Yuri. Doesn't go to decision, which obviously cashed, but it is parlayed with Haas and Holland from this card. So that is still an active bet. And outside of that, yeah, another win, more profit. Can't be mad at profit. Wasn't perfect. If Glover would have won, it would have been a perfect little cherry on the top. But we keep the gravy train rolling. Let's keep it going into another one. And without further ado, let's get into this first fight. First up, we got Kyle Daukaus taking on Roman Dolidze. And, or Dolidze. Dolidze. Oh, man, I say it like 2 or 3 different ways every time. But Roman Dolidze. And Roman, man, this dude has not been impressive. In his debut, he had that fluke knockout where he goes to throw a head kick, the knee lands. It was on probably the worst fighter in the entire UFC at the time, Kadise Bragimov. I don't know why I can say that, but I can't say Roman's name. Then he gets a split decision with John Alon. Lose to Trevin Giles by decision, and then basically has to just hold the undersized Leonardo Starapulli up against the cage to get that win. Kyle Daukaus, on the other hand, even in his losses, he's been looking good, man. Phil Haas, close decision. Takedown defense looks much improved there. We know his submission game's on point. He was supposed to come in and get shit kicked by Brendan Allen. Ended up being a sweaty fight. And we saw, even though it was a headbutt, Kevin Holland, who we'll be talking about later, he did look pretty good in that fight. So Kyle Daukaus has been looking great. I see why he's the big favorite. The striking, I give him the edge. The grappling, I give him the edge. The only thing I give Roman is he is the slightly bigger guy. He's fought at heavyweight. He's fought at 205. But I would like to say, if this was a couple months ago, I'd be tempted to take Roman by decision. But we've been seeing the judges watch the Holly fight, watch the Zalgas fight, watch the what was that other really recent one? There's been so many. There's been like 5 in the past 4 cards where the person that most people thought won didn't win because the judges are scoring damage over control. We're seeing it time and time again. It says that on the judging criteria, but the judges never really upheld that. Now they are starting to do so. Roman's best path to victory is hold Kyle up against the cage, because if he goes to the ground, Kyle's probably going to be able to sweep. I don't like to bank on people getting submissions off their back, but I could see him getting a sweep. I could see him just not being able to be held down by Roman, which is going to tire Roman out, who already doesn't have a good gas tank. So I think Roman would really want to clinch him, put him up against the cage, but the judges are not scoring that right now. So that just makes me even more confident. I do think Kyle Daukaus is a side, better striking, better grappling. Just a little bit smaller, but, you know, he's not a small guy. He's 6'3". He's just a little bit skinnier. Got a little bit of that skinny fat thing going on, but, you know, I think he's the rightful side. I think he's the rightful favorite. But my only bet so far, I've been tempted to parlay him up. I haven't yet. I've been more interested in the fight goes to decision and the overs. I did bet fight goes to decision. I will get into all my bets at the end of the video. And so I will take Kyle Daukaus. I'll take Kyle Daukaus by decision. Moving on. Next up, we got Phil Hawes versus Deron Winn. And, man, surprisingly, I know people hate Phil Hawes. The man, not a great gas tank, not a great chin. We saw Chris Curtis come in as a big underdog, and I bet Chris Curtis by knockout. And sure enough, he gets the knockout. Woo, thank you, Chris Curtis. I mean, Chris Curtis is a live dog. He's got big power. He was coming in short notice. You knew he was going to come in hot. And Phil Hawes is a recipe for disaster for Phil Hawes because the man just does not have the chin for it. The good thing for him is Deron Winn is tiny. And another, Deron Winn has no power. Why are people saying, like, yeah, can anybody knock out Phil Hawes if they catch him on the chin? Yes. This man has no striking defense, not great durability as it is, and, gets tired as well. Could Deron Winn knock him out? It's possible. But the fact that so many people, man, the crazy thing is Deron Winn, 5'6", this man weighed in 194. Like, Jesus Christ, bro. How are you not making weight for 185? You are tiny, brother. Anyways, his striking, terrible. His jiu-jitsu, terrible. His cardio, good. His wrestling, great. Nothing else. His striking defense, his striking offense, his boxing, his kicks are non-existent. We've seen him get tired too. His cardio is not great. It's pretty solid. It's better than Phil Hawes. Phil Hawes is so much bigger, bro. Not just height. He not only does he have 6-inch height advantage, 7.5-inch reach advantage, but he's the better striker. He has more power. How much is he getting better at this point? I don't know, but he is training at Sanford MMA with some good guys. He's got better striking. He's got 100% takedown defense. Deron Winn can only wrestle. I just don't understand why so many people are liking Deron Winn. I'm not a fan. I don't like this guy. Not personally. I don't have a problem with the guy. But, betting the guy, I get it. Betting Phil Hawes is scary at -250 against anybody. But, I have Phil Hawes parlayed. If he loses this damn fight, all hope is lost for Phil Hawes. Just two wrestlers, and one should be 2 weight classes above him. And he also has better striking. And he also hits way harder. And he also, on the actual mat, I don't think Deron Winn, maybe if he gets Hawes tired, maybe he can take him down and control him. I don't see it happening. I'm going to go Phil Hawes, second round TKO. I think once Deron Winn realizes he ain't going to be able to just ragdoll Hawes around, he's going to be looking for the door, and I think Hawes will show him that with a big right hand. Give me Hawes, second round knockout. I do have him parlayed up. Next up, we got Cody Stamann taking on Eddie Weiland, and I'm going to keep this semi-short. Both these guys have been on a really bad run. Cody Stamann lost 3 in a row, but look at who he's losing to, bro. Said Nurmagomedov, Merab Dvalishvili, Jimmy Rivera. 3 tough-ass guys. And only one who finished him was Said Nurmagomedov, who is a serious finisher. Caught him with that guillotine early. He was doing what he should do and trying to wrestle Said early. It is what it is. But let's look at who Eddie Wineland's losing to. Okay, John Castaneda in the first round knockout. Sean O'Malley knocked him out in 2 minutes. Gregory Popov. that was 2019. And then look at all these guys he's winning. Cut. All these guys are cut. And his last win of a guy... Ken Stone in WEC. That's literally 12 years ago. You're not going too far back into his wins before you're getting the Scott Jorgensens and Brad Pickett's. His time has been... I loved Eddie Weiland back in the day, man. This dude was a legend. I loved watching him fight. Dope dude. Follow him on social media. Super cool guy. This is a cruel sport, though. And I get it, Cody Stamann. Realistically now, Eddie Weiland's problem is, he keeps his hands so low, but he don't have the reflexes that he used to have. So the defense isn't there anymore, so he's getting clipped, and the chin ain't the same, and he's getting up there. He's 37 at bantamweight. That's going to be tough, but I get it. Cody Stamann doesn't have the power to really make him pay like other guys have been, but, man, you typically would want to make this line a little better by taking Stamann by decision because he's not a finisher, but, man, I'm scared to take Stamann by decision because I honestly... Eddie's hands below his knees. Stamann's still a strong guy. We haven't seen the power come to fruition, but if there was a case where it could, it'd be this one. I'm going to go Cody Stamann. I have him parlayed up pretty heavily. I got him earlier in the week when he was -310, -320. Yeah, that was actually like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Eddie could kind of puncher's chance. I just don't see it happening. Cody Stamann by decision. Maybe he gets that knockout though. But man, I really don't see him getting clipped and getting knocked out. He's been a durable guy. Cody Stamann by decision. Next up, another one I'm not going to take a whole lot of time. We got Gloria De Paula taking on Maria Oliveira. Man, Maria Oliveira coming in her last fight. And she took on Tabitha Ricci, who is a tough girl. We've seen that now. But man, Tabitha Ricci, pretty small girl. And man, she was taking down Oliveira like it was nothing. I get it. She's got good wrestling. Like, her lack of height actually helps her in on those wrestling. Especially on these these longer girls, that strikers and stuff. But I don't know, man. I just haven't seen it. Maria Oliveira coming in as a 2-1 underdog, and I get it. Gloria De Paula, yeah, we saw her get head kicked by Cheyenne Baez, aka Cheyenne Velismas, and Jinyu Fry. Yeah, but that was a pretty tough debut. Jinyu Fry, still a veteran. I know she got the salty record, but she's fought some tough girls. That wasn't a terrible loss for a debuter. Beat Diana Belbita. These are still better girls than who. They're not the best girls, but look at who Maria Oliveira is fighting. I mean, she lost to Ricci, and then she got absolutely smoked out of there by Marina Rodriguez. Should have never been in there with her. Losses can be good, but that is, how much can you take away from that? She just kind of got her ass beat. Every other fight, it's just like, who are these girls? I had never heard of them until I watched the tape. Haven't been impressed. The striking's not bad. It's low-level women's MMA, so I would never... There's not a girl on the roster that I would bet minus 260 Gloria De Paula against. Like, nobody, not one. So if you're going to bet, you either bet Maria Oliveira or you don't bet. If you bet Gloria De Paula and she wins, which I will pick De Paula to win, a greasy decision... Yeah, and she wins, and one of you guys have the audacity to come here and be like, "Oh, I told you, bro. Gloria De Paula, bro." I'm going to be like, you, sir, are a cash magage. If you bet MMA, you know better than to bet low-level women's MMA chalk. Minus 260 Gloria De Paula. I wouldn't bet her minus 260 against the white belt chicks in my MMA, or at my gym. You know what I mean? Moving on. That's 3 minutes of your guys' life you're never getting back. I'm sorry. Danny Chavez taking on Ricardo Ramos. Ricardo Ramos, a big favorite, minus 350. I'm going to let you know real quick. This is going to be 3 in a row. We're going to keep pretty short because I'm not laying Ricardo Ramos minus 350 against... Okay, I won't say quite as bad as the last one, but 350 is an extra 100 points. Ricardo Ramos against anybody minus 350. I literally looked at that line. I said, okay. I just tunnel visioned out of Ricardo Ramos' name, and I only looked at Danny Chavez. Do I want to bet Danny Chavez plus 250 or nothing? Okay, I'll go with nothing because Danny Chavez, what is he good at? He's got good calf kicks. Cardio's not terrible. Striking's not terrible. Takedown defense, I know he was on a little tangent saying, oh, not even Khabib could take me down now. Chill out, brother. Khabib would pick you up and literally slam you on your neck and you never walk again. Let's relax. Okay? Respect. You beat my ass. Let me get that out of there before the one comment comes out. Been training 8 years and Danny Chavez would beat my ass. Okay, boom, got that out of the way. Now that I've said that, no. Now, if I was going to bet anybody in this fight, I mean, unless I wanted to be a real degenerate and parlay Ricardo Ramos, but it's like, Ricardo Ramos, you mean the guy who was throwing the little stupid behind-the-back kicks at freaking scary-ass Lerone Murphy? Oh, you're in there against Lerone Murphy? Let me try this stupid little dinky kick where he was like throwing his leg behind his back and kicking, like tapping him with, it was literally like, I was like, what is happening? What are you doing? And then sure enough, gets knocked out in that same round. I don't know what that was, but minus 350, just a couple fights later. I mean, to be fair, he's had some tough competition. I mean, Eduardo Garagori, that's not terrible. Journey Newson, that's not terrible. Said Nurmagomedov, that's tough. Kung Kong and beat him, that's pretty solid. You know, Bill Algeo beat him, that's pretty solid. Winning there was against Zubaria. No, he's not fighting chumps, but minus 350, like, no. And minus 200, I'd probably have parlayed him. Minus 220, I'd consider it. Plus 240, Danny Chavez, minus 350 is absolutely wild. So I'll go Ricardo Ramos by decision. But man, his striking defense is so sus. This could be a close fight on the feet, and then Ricardo Ramos, what does he have, some overwhelming takedowns? No, not at all. This is a trap line. Again, if you bet minus 350 Ricardo Ramos and he wins, you are not a good MMA bettor. That is an L, brother. You don't bet low-level fighters like that at minus 350. Like, that's not a good bet, dude. That's not a sustainable way to make money betting MMA. So, no, I will be laying off this. If you bet Danny Chavez, I'd probably take him by decision. Even though we have seen Ricardo Ramos clipped, we've seen his striking defense a little sus. I don't think Danny Chavez puts him out if he wins. He probably wins a decision, chops his legs. Ricardo Ramos does have some little bird legs. I could see Danny Chavez chopping him away. But I'm going to go Ricardo Ramos wins by decision. He could snatch up a sub, but I'll take him by decision, and let's move on. Next up, we got Jeremiah Wells taking on Court McGee. And this is a fun fight, man. This is one of the more even fights on the card. There's a lot of big favorites on this card, but this one has been back and forth, and I'm not going to lie, man. When I first saw the matchup, I really did think I was going to be... I don't, not for long, but when I first saw the matchup and I saw Jeremiah Wells was an underdog, and I think he's an underdog now. I don't think Tapology is... unless the line flipped again today. When I woke up today, Court McGee was still a favorite. So, unless that line just flipped and Tapology updated, I don't think he is. Takedown Nation, baby. But Court McGee, he's a veteran, man. 21-10, and you guys will say, oh, 10 losses. Yeah, but look who he's losing to. I swear him and Carlos Condit had a gentleman's agreement to shoot, that he wouldn't shoot any takedowns on him, because Carlos Condit, one of the worst takedown defenses in like UFC history, on paper, and shot 0 takedowns. Like, I don't know, that was so weird. And then he goes in there, out-grapples Claudio Silva, out-grapples Ramiz Brahimaj, and I mean, Sean Brady, okay, like, that's not a bad loss. He actually gave Sean Brady some work. Like, you could actually give him one of those rounds. I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was like the 3rd round, or I can't remember, but he gave him a good fight, man. And that's Sean Brady. Like, that's a serious guy. Sean Strickland, Ben Saunders 5 years ago. Like, these aren't terrible losses, and they're by decision. Only been finished once, and who was it by? Oh, fucking prime Santiago Ponzinibbio. I just don't see... I don't know, man. I mean, it's possible. Jeremiah Wells, big power. Definitely super explosive. Not a young guy himself either, though. 35. Yeah, he's more, fresh and young in MMA and in fighter years. But I don't know. I don't think he's like this super young, fresh guy that some people are making him out to be. But, I get it. I don't know, man. I haven't been blown away. I think even his last fight, even getting the win over Blood Diamond, it was weird, and it was just an awkward fight. I thought he would have been able to finish him quicker and easier than that. I like the guy, he's fun to watch, but I don't know. Court McGee, only been finished by prime Santiago. Is Jeremiah Wells going to capitalize on that? I don't know. If you bet Jeremiah, I feel like you might as well take first round finish or first round knockout even. I don't see him doing much after that first round. And I just feel like Court McGee, man, he's like that old dog that he just refused to go away. I mean, this man, has literally died, came back to life, bro. He ain't scared of Jeremiah Wells. So I think Court McGee, I'm leaning Court McGee by decision, but the line wasn't too much different by decision than straight. So I just took Court McGee straight, and it was Yeah, I got him at even money, plus 100. But last I checked, he was like minus 120. So I'll have to check to see if that flips back. But, man, anything minus 130 or under, I think Court McGee has the value, man. I think he's a rightful favorite. I think he should be more like minus 140. Just more paths. And Jeremiah Wells, I really do feel like has to finish him in the first round. And, who's been able to do that to him? Santiago Ponzinibbio, only one to finish him. And that was prime Santiago. So I don't think Jeremiah Wells on quite that level. I'm going to go Court McGee by decision. But if Jeremiah Wells sells completely out for that first round finish and gasses out, Court McGee hasn't finished anybody since, dinosaur age. But he could finish Jeremiah. That's why if the line wasn't going to change too much, I wasn't going to, lose money on that. So next up, we got Jasmine Jasdavicius taking on Natalia Silva. And this is another one, man. You guys know me at this point. I've been spending too much time breaking down fights that I don't have intention to bet. And that's something I've been telling y'all I want to work on. I want to spend most of my time so these videos I can spend the most of the time in these videos, the ones that I'm, one, most interested in, and you guys are most interested in, and two, I have the most, I've either already bet or have a chance of betting. If I looked at the line or looked at the fight and immediately said, never betting that, why should I spend 10, 15 minutes breaking it down for you guys? So, I do think Jasmine's the rightful favorite. I mean, you go through Silva's fights, and I had to struggle to watch a couple of these on tape because, I typically do give a solid 15-minute breakdown on every fight on these cards. But, she's fighting these lower-level girls, 1-0, 1-1, 3-0, 10-5. I mean, 2-2, 0-0. Put her in there against Marina Rodriguez. How'd that work out? She got shit kicked. But, she's a tough girl, but I don't, is she UFC caliber? I don't think so, but, I honestly think Jasmine is one of the better Canadian fighters in the UFC right now. Beat Kay Hansen, who's, there was a decent amount of hype on in her debut. And, the Elise Reed fight wasn't great, but at least it was a split decision. I mean, that's better than the girls that her opponents fight in Silva. I don't know. I mean, she's got the height and reach. I think Silva's going to have a hard time really getting anything going. I haven't seen her really be able to stick to her jab and it's not like she has some overwhelming wrestling. So if anything, when I bet a lower level women's MMA, I'm looking at the underdogs, and I just couldn't see anything too appealing from Silva to make me want to, put my hard-earned money on her, even as a 2-1 dog. So, and I don't lay minus 250 on girls with one UFC fight, so it's just not something that I do. And when I do, I usually pay the price. So, Jasmine Jasdavicius by decision, and let's move on. Next up, we got a banger of a fight. Adrian Ynez taking on Tony Kelly, and Ynez definitely becoming a popular, fan favorite right now. But I do think that that's influencing this line, man. I mean, I get it. Like, I've been seeing, the guy's super funny on Twitter. His style's super fun. His boxing's clean. People love to watch hands thrown and, people go for knockouts. But, I don't know, man. I'm just not all the way sold. I mean, you saw this article, and I know you probably heard somebody talk about it because it's been going around everywhere on Twitter lately. But, they put out the top 5 boxers in MMA, and they put Ynez at number 5. Like, we gotta slow our roll here, bro. Like, we gotta. I don't want somebody to hear this and think I'm like, oh, this dude's a Ynez hater. Like, dude's cool as shit. His style's fun as hell. I'm not a Ynez hater, bro. I'm a realist, and plus I bet money on these fights. Like, not only is it my money, but it's y'all's money. I think about the people who just don't even watch the fights. They just blindly take my bets. Like, I'm doing it. I gotta step biases aside for you guys. And like, who number 5 boxer in MMA because what? Because he edged out a split decision over Davy Grant, a guy with Davy Grant's got good power and he's a junkyard dog, but I mean, their boxing exchanges were pretty close. And does Davy Grant have high level boxing? I would beg to differ. This is the same guy who was getting absolutely pieced up by Randy Costa, and then Costa got gassed and and then he came back and beat his ass. Yeah, he can finish Gustavo Lopez. That was his best win for sure, in my opinion. I mean, well, the Davy Grant one is, but it was a split decision. The most impressive was probably Gustavo Lopez, but and yeah, he can finish Victor Rodriguez and Brady Herm, but like, what does that mean? And Tony Kelly, there was no round where Randy beat his ass. He came out and just steamrolled him, beat the shit out of Randy. I know that's MMA math, but still, it's like, yeah, Casey was able to get some takedowns on him, but he was still able to squeeze that win out. And is Ynez going to be taking him down? No. If anything, Tony Kelly is going to be the better grappler here. I don't know. I thought he won the Kai Kamaka fight. I think he should be 3-0 in the UFC, and he's plus 300. I got Tony Kelly plus 300. I got the over in this fight. Both these guys, neither have been finished. They're both super durable, super tough. Tony Kelly, man, I get it. Like, in a straight pick, I'll take Ynez. I'll probably take Ynez by decision. But plus 300? Dude, I would put Ynez minus 150. I would put Ynez minus 150 if I was the odds maker. And again, do I think he should win the fight? Yes. He should be the favorite. But what? He squeezed out a win over Davy Grant, so we should be betting him minus 360? Fuck out of my face. These guys are is mostly gonna be striking. Tony Kelly, I think, has the better gas tank. Ynez definitely has the better boxing, better kickboxing. I think Tony Kelly's the better grappler. Can he get Ynez down? I don't know. Might be tough. But once Ynez gets tired, if he can weather that first round or two, I think Ynez could start slowing down. Maybe Tony can wind up on top. Maybe in the scramble. Or I don't think he's just going to go out there and hit a double leg on Ynez. But, he got Costa down. I think it's possible he could get Ynez down. Plus 300, man. I'm a gambling man. I will take that. Will my straight pick will be Ynez. To clear, some of you guys don't know the difference between picks and bets. My pick, I do think Ynez should be the favorite. He should probably win here. I don't think he's just going to run through Tony Kelly like it's nothing. And even if he does, that's his best path. Is either, if he either gets this first round knockout or it's going to probably be pretty close. And Kelly's never been knocked out. So I'm going to go Ynez by decision, but I have Tony Kelly bet. Plus 300. Y'all know I'm not a value boy. We got into this. I pick winners. But plus 300, and I think it's damn near 50-50. I'll give like a 55% chance Ynez wins. But, dude, plus 300, and it's plus 280 now, I think, somewhere around there. Some people are laying some underdog money. Dude, I like the over in this fight. I don't think Ynez is just going to steamroll through him. And I like Tony Kelly. So, give me the over. I bet the fight goes to the decision because the line was just a little better. I'll get into that at the end of the video. But I also got Tony Kelly plus 300. Next up, we got Julian Marquez taking on Gregory Rodriguez. And Marquez, man, speaking of junkyard dogs, that's what this guy is. Not the best striker, not the best grappler, not the best wrestler, but he's just tough as shit, man. He's just tough as shit. Even when you see him get tired, get gassed, he just fights for your money. He'll keep going. And, he had a close fight with Alessio Di Chirico. It's not a terrible loss. Went in there. He was losing to Maki Patello, finds that Anaconda, beats Sam Alvey as he should. This is definitely a step up, he's scrappy, he's tough, but Gregory Rodriguez, Armin Petrosian was able to get the win on him, but that's just a different animal. We're not going to be worried about Marquez going in here and, grapple fucking him. Could he do some work on the grappling? I think it'd be close. I think some people are saying, Gregory was just way better grappler. I don't know. I've seen him grapple. I think he might have a slight edge here, but I don't think he could just, grapple fuck Marquez. I think Marquez, close enough in the grappling. I just feel like, he's there to be hit. I feel like Gregory's just a little bit better everywhere. Better striking, the power, they both got power. But Gregory, a little bit better with the takedowns, a little bit better just in general as a grappler. Some people do overestimate his grappling. I don't think it's amazing, but I do think it's a little bit better than Marquez. And I think he's the rightful favorite. I have Gregory Rodriguez, And I do have Gregory Rodriguez, but I do think, you got to be wary. Don't, overestimate his grappling. Think he's just going to come in here and, absolutely khabib Julian Marquez. I've heard some people talking about that. But I do think he should be the favorite. I do have him in one parlay. So I got a little action on him, but I won't be too heavy on him. I do, we saw some of his limitations. Next up, we got Damir Ismagulov taking on Guram Kudaladze. And, man, this is one of the best fights on the card. You could argue it's the best fight on the card. The only reason you might say no is because I do think Damir's going to win. Spoiler alert. And he doesn't have the most exciting game plan. So if Guram doesn't catch him, and then it'll be exciting. If he catches Damir, who, arguably could be undefeated. I mean, only lost way back here in 2015. And I went back and watched that, and I thought he won. I think he should be undefeated still, 24-0. We did see him get caught a little bit by Alves, but, I mean, he proceeded to recover and win that same round, I thought. I mean, you might give Alves the first round off that knockdown. Definitely lost the next two. But honestly, you could argue Ismagulov won that round. I mean, I'd have to go back and rewatch it. That was the only one of these that I didn't go back and rewatch because it was recent enough. But, I mean, I remembered enough that, yeah, he got caught by a shot, and that's what Alves does. But he proceeded to, recover and then beat the shit out of him. So it's I don't know. Guram, tough guy, man. I mean, you saw him this week on Fight Week. The dude's absolutely shredded. Training with Hamzat. I know y'all have heard that so many times. I almost don't even want to say it. I do think, being Hamzat's boy and his style is more fun to watch has made this line a little closer than it should be. Because I'm not going to lie, I was expecting Damir to be over 2-1. I mean, don't get me wrong, Guram's tough, and, he won his debut even though he himself thought he lost. I thought he lost too. I thought Gamrot won, but it was close. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't have said that. Nobody would have said that. Nobody says that, but, respect to the guy, being real. Didn't think he won, and, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I didn't either. But the dude is a Georgian savage. Don't love betting against these Georgian savages. Especially, I know it's cringe to hear, and you've heard it so many times, but he is a training partner of Hamzat. I'm sure his wrestling is only improving. He's only 30 years old. But, man, Damir, I cannot say it enough. This dude is tough, man. This dude is legit. Fuck tough. Tough, you can say, about a guy like Marquez. No offense. Dude, Damir is, super legit, bro. Like I said, I think he's 24-0. The man's got a sick jab. He's got good striking, his striking defense. Sometimes he gets hit, but he seems like he's pretty durable, got a chin on him. And typically his defense is pretty solid. I wouldn't say, he's super hittable. He's been hit, and Alves clipped him, but dude recovered. He's tough. He's got the will to win. He's got the fight IQ. And he's willing to do. He's a bettor's wet dream because he's willing to do whatever he needs to do to win, man. You don't see that enough. It sounds like common sense, but people want to get knockouts. People want to, they even if it's not that as a conscious decision, it's you hit me, and now I just got to hit you back because you just hit me. And now you just rocked me, now I got to rock you back. And then you get knocked out, even though you knew you probably could have just wrestled him. Damir ain't going to do that, man. Guram catches him with a big shot. I have confidence that Damir, as long as he doesn't get put out cold, this man is going to find a leg. And yeah, I'm sure Guram isn't an easy guy to take down, but I have confidence in Damir, man. This guy's striking's legit. He works his takedowns in through his striking. He doesn't just shoot empty shots. I don't know, man. I like the guy. Good cardio. He's gone 5 rounds. I think he's legit, man. I think Damir can beat a lot of guys in this division. I mean, it's the lightweight division. It's still an absolute glamour division. It's going to be a big step up after this one, I think. But I don't know, man. I think Damir's legit. I think, again, 24-0 in my book. And I think he's going to roll here and become 25-0. I like him to win. I like him to win. Probably by decision. That's what he does. He's not a huge finisher. That's, why we're not. That's why some of y'all listening right now have never heard of him. Because he doesn't have the highlight reel finishes. He just does what he has to do to win and double his pay and then gets the hell out of there and then fights 1 year later. He fights once a year and it's usually a decision. So I will go Damir by decision. I'll let you know that line at the end of the video. Next up, we got Joaquin Buckley taking on Albert Derive, and This is another one where it's a styles matchup for sure. Derive, decent striking, power of his own, but Buckley, man, we all know him. One of the craziest knockouts of all time. Huge power in his hands and in his kicks. Only 28. I'm sure he's getting better, but I don't know, man. I'm not going to lie. I think that knockout has made some people overestimate him. And, I mean, I don't think I think the line's fair. I don't think, he should be too much wider than he is. But, close split with Abdul. He knocks out Antonio Arroyo, but we saw Alessio catch him with that head kick. And even Jordan Wright arguably won the first round. And then we know what happens to Jordan Wright when he gets hit by a big shot. And, yeah, Buckley has big power. But we've seen him taken down. We've seen him controlled. We see he doesn't have the best grappling. And I really feel like Derive, man, he is the rifle favorite. I just really hope, I will say, as somebody, I do have money on Derive. I have him parlayed up, like I said, with that Glover fight doesn't go to decision, which obviously I already cashed. So I need Derive here. I'm not going to lie. As the fights approach, I've been a little bit tempted to throw a little Joaquin first-round knockout. Because I really feel like that's the only way he loses, man. Look at it. I mean, first-round knockout, first-round knockout, first-round knockout. Ramos on a Meave. He can't finish a sandwich. And he finished him. And, could Joaquin Buckley for sure. I think that's the only way Derive loses, if he gets caught with a big shot in the first round. I think after that, he's good. So I'm tempted to throw that on. I'm tempted to hedge it a little bit. But I do feel like Derive's going to take him down. He's going to ground and pound him. He's either going to find a sub or just ground and pound him, TKO. I do feel like Derive is the side, man. He could catch Buckley on the feet. We've seen Buckley caught. We've seen, I don't know, his chin could be a little bit in question. Obviously, the shots that Holland and DeChirico hit him with, they probably would have knocked out most people. But, at this point, I don't know. He has taken shots. We've seen him dropped multiple times. I don't know. I mean, we've seen both these guys dropped. But Derive also has the grappling. He has the wrestling. I think he has better cardio than Buckley. I'm going to go Derive. I'm going to go Derive second round TKO, but might see a hedge on fight day. I will be tweeting out my bets, or, if you guys talk to me on my live stream on Twitch, maybe you'll know beforehand, but I do think maybe a hedge possibility, but I have Derive. Next up, we got Tim Means taking on Kevin Holland, and, Tim Means is... Man, we got a lot of these, veteran just savages. I mean, he's 38 at welterweight, which, at least is one of the heavier divisions, but still, that's getting pretty up there. This isn't heavyweight, it's still welter, and your reflexes and speed still matter a lot. And, yeah, he can beat the Nicholas Dalbys. Respect to Dalby. He's still a tough guy. It's not an easy win, but the Dalbys, the Mike Perry, the Staropolis, but, this is a little bit different. I mean, Holland at 170... I do think this is a better division for him. Obviously, we need to see him make weight a couple more times, but I do feel like it's a good good weight class for him. He was undersized for sure at middleweight, and then people are like, "Oh, he can't wrestle. Worst wrestling ever." Bro, Brunson is a good wrestler. I know you guys know Marvin Vettori is a good wrestler. He's also huge. He also has 30 pounds on Holland. Dudes, Vettori fights at over 200 pounds. Holland Vittori's weighing in he's fighting at 210, bro. And Holland weighs legit 285. So it's that's a big strength and size disadvantage. And when the skills are close, size matters. Derek Brunson's also a big guy. He's also strong as hell. We've also seen him take down Yoel Romero. Okay? Olympian. Stop faking on Derek Brunson. Y'all love to shit on Derek Brunson, bro. Y'all admit that Luke getting grappled up by Vettori isn't bad, but y'all really sit here and try to pretend like Derek Brunson can't wrestle. Derek Brunson's taking down everybody that he's fought. He's taking down literally everybody. Obviously, Till is crazy. Holland took down Shabazian, took down Ynez, took down Elias Theodoro, even though it was a crazy fight because Theodoro, his style is just cancer. The champion, Izzy, clipped him up. He took down Souza. He took down Machida. He took down Kelly. He took down Anderson. He took down freaking Robert Whitaker, I think, once. And that's, champions. He's been having trouble wrestle. Uriah Hall, Sam out. Hey, dude friggin' took down Yoel Romero. What else do I need to say? Okay? So, Tim, like Tim Means, it's gonna be a little bit different. I think he's gonna have trouble taking down Kevin Holland. I've seen a lot of people saying he's gonna wrestle Kevin Holland, or he's gonna hit him with some of those little sneaky trips. But I don't know. I just I think it's gonna play out on the feet. I don't see a lot of grappling happening in this fight, and I don't think Means, if he were to get him down, he'd be able to just control him. So I feel like this is gonna be a kickboxing fight. And man, I think Holland, he's 29 years old. He's in his prime right now. He's going to have a 6-inch reach. Again, y'all know me. I don't give a shit about reach unless they know how to use it. Holland knows how to use it. And if it's going to play out on the feet and these dudes are going to strike, I like Tim Means, and I bet Tim Means in his last couple fights. He's been making me money. That's why I'm really, I hate to bet against him, but I really just feel like this is going to be a striking fight. And Holland, it's his time, man. Like, in a striking fight, if you want to beat Holland, you wrestle him. If you're going to strike with him and you're going to be 38 years old, I don't like your chances a whole lot. So, at least for most of these guys. So, I got Holland, man. I think Holland by TKO, probably like a second round. I don't have the prop because honestly a sub wouldn't be out of the question. A decision wouldn't be out of the question. I have Kevin Holland parlayed. We will get into it in a bit. Co-main event. I broke this down a couple times, so I'm not going to go as long as I would because these are legends, but I broke this down twice. So, Donald Cerrone taking on Joe Lozon. Donald Cerrone, legend. He's fought literally everybody. He's one of the hardest schedules of all time, but typically doesn't show up, in these big fights. Joe Lozon, hard schedule as well. Fought all the big names. Legend. Both these guys are legends. I really hope this is the last fight for both of these guys, just because if they need to keep fighting and feed their families, man, by all means, I will watch. But, I just don't like to see these new fans. And yeah, these guys are probably like, fuck the fan, what the fans think. I'm trying to feed my family. I respect the shit out of that. But, just the hardcore in me, I just hate seeing these guys get losses when they're past their prime, and then people, write them off. Oh, that's the guy who lost 5 fights in a row. Yeah, but the dude was friggin' fighting friggin' savages at 40 years old at lightweight. It's not easy, man. These light divisions, it's so tough to fight the best of the best once you're up in the upper 30s. It's just, your speed, your reflexes go down, you're human, and we've seen Cerrone fight at 170. The weight cut could be an issue. Another big thing is Cerrone is a slow starter. Lozon's a quick starter. So it's tough. If you're betting Cerrone at chalk in 2022 against a quick starter like Joe Lozon, I could see Joe Lozon catch him in the first round. I think Joe Lozon first round KO, or really just first round to be safe. But Joe Lozon first round KO was something crazy. I don't want to say it because I don't remember it perfectly, but I think it was almost plus 1,000. Donald Cerrone, man, I do think much better striker. He's just a slow starter, and he hasn't been looking great, as we know. Neither has Joe Lozon, though. And this ain't friggin'... that Jonathan Pierce fight has aged pretty good, but I do feel like that was, too much too soon, and Pierce is coming into his own now. But, I don't know, minus 165, I could never lay for Cerrone. If I was going to bet anything on this, it'd be either Joe Lozon inside the distance, or Joe Lozon first round finish, or just the under. But I'm not really... I probably wouldn't do the under because honestly, if Donald wins, there's a chance it could be a decision too. But overall, man, I'm going to go, as far as a straight pick, I will say Donald Cerrone. Whew, that feels weird. But I don't know, man. I could never lay him as chalk, let alone minus 165 against a quick starter. He's filming movies. He's 40 years old. I don't know. I wish... That's basically like flipping a coin to me. It's a 50-50 fight. I'll go Cerrone, but I honestly, if I was going to bet anything, I really think it would be Joe Lozon first round finish or Joe Lozon inside the distance. But I will take Cerrone, and I'll take him TKO second round as an overall straight pick. Main event time, we got Calvin Kattar taking on Josh Emmett. Two guys I really like, man. I won't say legends. They're still in the thick of it, even though Emmett's 37. I won't put him at legend status yet, but he's still a freaking top dog for sure. And both these guys been looking really great. Obviously, Kattar, we get it. He got tooled up by Max Holloway, top 2 featherweights of all time. But both these guys have been on the run, man. Emmett beating Ige, beating Burgos, beat the shit out of Burgos. Burgos was too tough to quit. Finished Bektik. I mean, I think Emmett has the record for knockdowns in the division, or it's either in the division or in the entire freaking active UFC. The dude gets dumb knockdowns every fight. But, Michael Johnson was piecing him up, and then he just gets slapped. Calvin Kattar, he didn't have a ton of finishes early on in his career, but, came into the UFC, and, I mean, he finished Burgos, which was big. Burgos had a lot of hype then. Finished Fishgold, okay, yeah. Ricardo Lamas, that was good. That was a nasty knockout. Jeremy Stevens, that elbow was just absolutely disgusting. And then he put a beating on Giga in his last fight, and he was getting counted out in that fight. And the thing is, like, people are saying Josh, collegiate wrestler, you should wrestle him, but Josh doesn't shoot any takedowns, man. If Josh was going to shoot takedowns, I would be a little bit, it'd make things more interesting. But honestly, then again, it's 5 rounds. And yeah, Josh Emmett's had a good gas tank so far, but I just don't know if he'd be able to really, maybe, I think it's still got to mix it up to just win a couple rounds, just to maybe use it to win a round or maybe win a round or two. Because we've seen, Kattar, he's a really good boxer, and he's going to have the reach, he's going to have the height. And yeah, it says it's not by a whole lot with the reach, but he fights longer. Josh Emmett, he's only 5'6". He does, he's definitely he's more reliant on that power crashing into the pocket. And since I don't see him shooting takedowns, it's tough to really bet him. Yeah, he's 2-1. He's the hardest hitting 45er in my opinion, but I feel like Kattar's going to be able to really work in with the jab, stay on the outside, more volume. I don't know. I think Kattar's the rightful side, and I did get around to parlaying them. Even though I do think Josh Emmett is live, maybe if I get to the main event, I don't really have enough on Kattar where I probably would hedge right now, but it's possible I could hedge with an Emmett by KO, because I really don't see him winning the decision. But I'm gonna go Kattar. I'm going to go Kattar actually by decision, though. I think Josh Emmett, man, yeah, he's been finished before, but I don't really see that happening here. I think Kattar's going to, play it smart, stay on the outside, work his jab. It's 5 rounds, so a finish could definitely happen, but I actually kind of like Kattar by decision here. But I've just parlayed him straight, and now let's get into, real quick, I'll say all my picks, and we'll get into my bets. Calvin Kattar by decision. Donald Cerrone TKO, Holland TKO, derive TKO, Ismagulov decision, Gregory Rodriguez, I'll say decision. I don't know if I said that earlier, but yeah, decision. I'm going to say Tony Kelly decision, or Adrian Ynez by decision, but I did bet Tony Kelly, remember, but it's a little bit of a value play, but again, when it's that much of a swing, you got to. Jasmine Jasnovičius decision, Court McGee decision, Ricardo Ramos decision, Gloria to Paula decision, Cody Stamann decision, Phil Haas TKO, and Kyle Daukaus decision. And now let's get into my bets. First up, we got Roman Dolidze versus Kyle Daukaus goes the decision, -110. And we got Tony Kelly +300. We got Court McGee +100, and we got Ismagulov +125 by decision. Next up, we got the parlays. We got the second leg of that Glover doesn't go to decision, which I already cashed with Holland. We got another one of those with, obviously that Glover already cashed, and then we got Phil Haas. So we have Phil Haas and Holland to finish out those parlays. We have Cody Stamann parlayed up with Derive. That was 2 weeks ago, so I got that at a much better line, minus 121. Cody Stamann parlayed up with Kevin Holland. That was again 2 weeks ago, -128, I believe. Cody Stamann parlayed up with Phil Haas, so that's the third parlay with him. -128, or no, -135. And now we got. Next up, we had one more straight play. We had that over, and it was the over 2.5, -120 for Tony Kelly versus Ynez. And one more parlay. We had Calvin Kattar parlayed up with Gregory Rodriguez, and those are both just to win. That's going to be all my bets, all my picks. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully I sectioned my time a little bit better. Trying to spend most of my time as best I can on the ones that I'm most interested in, most likely to bet or already bet. That's all my picks, all my bets. I appreciate you guys. Leave a like on the video, leave a sub, turn your notifications on. I will be live this Saturday for the fights. We are doing DGL, Dank Gaming League. If you want to get involved, UFC Fight Night, MLB, 2K, Madden, Mortal Kombat, WWE. If you want to get involved and play, compete, join the Discord, sign up. We're doing them almost, 5 days a week. So sign up on there. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you next time. We got 7 more weeks in a row of UFC every Saturday. Catch you then. Peace.